We got married in Texas, and shortly after wedding day, we moved to California and had a great experience there. We had a wonderful church, and we had the opportunity to walk with other couples that were newly married, that were new in their faith in some cases, and some even older in their faith. Good, bad, or indifferent, we had friends that we would talk to, right? And we're all learning about our marriage. We're learning about how to be married, and there's challenges and frustration, and you're in those early years, and you're learning how to live with another human. And so we began to really base our marriage on this performance. So if Heidi did or didn't do something I wanted her to do, then we were good. If she didn't do what I needed her to do, then we weren't. And so we moved from California to North Carolina, and we had kids, and that's where performance-based began to kind of set in and create some real challenges in our life.
So we moved to North Carolina, and we had 3 little girls, and they were ages newborn, 1 and 3, and I feel like that was when things really got difficult. We weren't really able to meet each other's expectations, and we both had things that we wanted from the other, and when that didn't get met, that's when we would get really frustrated with one another.
And the way that we communicated with each other was not healthy. So what was in the past, you don't have kids, and it's not this exasperated issue that you have that is ongoing, where in our case it was that the house was a complete golly, that's bad. In our case, it was where the house was not to the level of what I wanted in our lives. Gosh, we should stop right now.
And so he was irritated with me because I didn't meet expectations, and I was irritated with him because he didn't seem to understand my situation. And so we stayed irritated with each other like a lot, and it impacted of course it impacted the time we had together, it impacted intimacy, it impacted just how we communicated with one another. There was just tension, it felt like. And we weren't growing in our marriage. I would say the opposite. We had moved from growing together in our marriage to just kind of walking side by side, and I think we were starting to move apart.
Almost like one becoming two.
We were one becoming two.
Yeah. So that's where Don and Sally came in, and we had a great opportunity where we went to church with Don and Sally Meredith, and they wrote to Becoming One, and they said, hey, do you want to come over and do this study with us and a few other families? And I think that's when I think the Lord used this study to really kind of change our perspective on our marriage. And fundamentally, and that was 10 years ago, we've been married almost 19 years. 10 years ago we took it, and it was a fundamental change in the way that we interact with each other. It was a fundamental way in the way that I see Heidi. It was a fundamental change in the way that I feel like God sees me. So when I come in and I'm in a tough mood, or had a bad day at work or whatever it may be, and I am critical on Heidi for whatever reason, we've learned like returning a blessing for a curse, and she's really, really good at it. It kind of changes the whole way we communicate. So what would normally come in and I crab about whatever it may be, what would have lingered for a day, a week, or longer, is now pretty short, because she's learned how to return a blessing in that moment, and hopefully I have too when you're in the same boat.
Right.
And it ties us together more. And what this study has done for me specifically is taken me back to the scripture to say, what is really God saying about marriage? And it's life-giving in the way that we communicate, and the way that we see one another as the gift that God's given us.